Hey everybody, Brett Rice, coreVISION Financial Group. Coming to you today with another video in our series on financial topics. Today, we're going to be joined by Hannah Rieser, and we're going to talk about some of the technology available to clients here at coreVISION Financial Group. So Hannah, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
This is Hannah's first time on the podcast. She's super excited. She's wanted to do a pod for quite some time. We finally found a topic that she was going to be our resident expert on.
I don't know about that.
As she deals with this technology every day. So we felt like she was a great person to come on here and talk about it. So Hannah, introduce yourself to the people on the podcast here of who you are, what you do here, and how long you've been with us.
I'm going to celebrate 3 years. Yeah, 3 years in October, and I'm loving it. I'm not going to lie. It's been the best time. I feel like I've been here for 13 years because of how close we've all become. But my title is Director of Advisor Support. I work under Jason Pike. He's the advisor that I service the most. I would say that I am probably the go-to when it comes to account view, my rep chat, all that kind of stuff. I know technology isn't everyone's forte, and so if I can help ease that a little bit by explaining or showing you step by step, I try to do that. However, it throws me for a loop sometimes, so it's not always perfect. You have to have patience with it, but we usually come to a solution, unless it's something that's not on my end. Then it's out of my control.
And right, this technology is supposed to make our lives a little easier.
It's supposed to,
but sometimes it can be a little difficult to set up.
Yeah. Well, it's technology. It's not perfect.
Right. Especially when we get to talking about secure emails and how sometimes you have to log in to get those to open and stuff. Yep. Some people are not comfortable with that because they're like, oh, is this spam?
Yeah.
Is this phishing email?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
So, these are questions we deal with all the time. People will be like, hey, how do I get this? Why isn't this working? Or,
right.
We're going to talk about a few topics today. We're going to talk about account view.
Yep.
We're going to talk about my rep chat.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about sending and receiving secure emails.
Yes.
And the fourth topic is Adobe Sign.
Yes. Which I feel like Adobe Sign and probably account view are probably the two most
frequent.
Yeah, the ones that people have the most troubles with, just because there's more than just a one step. Whereas my rep chat, we send you the text, you type back accept, you're in. That's it, right? That's pretty self-explanatory. Whereas account view is always changing, even on us. And so I'm constantly finding out new things, or some days the app works, some days the desktop version works. So it's like just trying to be patient and figure all that out.
Right. And with this technology and the information that's shared in it, it has to be secure.
Right.
I mean, right. We can't send account numbers and, personal identification information like social security numbers and stuff like that through unsecure methods.
Or even as far as addresses, phone numbers, any personal numbers or anything that's associated with you, we just prefer to not send through just a regular email.
So real quick history on, I'll just say my rep chat. Historically, we weren't allowed to text, period.
Correct.
My rep chat came up, I think 2 years ago, and gave us a channel to be able to send and receive text messages with clients through a secure, monitored method that gives gives LPL and the SEC and FINRA and all those guys a record of what we're texting back and forth with clients. Right?
It's a live feed.
So that way we can make sure, or the regulators can make sure we're not making guarantees or promises to clients in order to get people to allow us to manage their money. So, they came up with my rep chat, and that's supposed to be our exclusive method of texting with clients.
Yep.
So a lot of times people are like, well, why do I have to do that? Well, On the user end, it should look like any other text message. The difference is on our end on how we do it, because we're all doing it on our desktop mainly.
Yeah, it'll come through to your phone. If I send you a text right now, it'll come through to your phone as our office phone number, 317-398-8200. And then like what we tell people is, because I know some people will have, your cell phone number or whoever's cell phone number saved in their phone. So don't save that 8200 number in your phone as Brett Rice. Sure, you might be speaking with him through that texting service, but it's not Brett's number. And sometimes
it creates confusion.
It does. And so we always tell people, just save it as, like, I tell people save it as like CV or just coreVISION.
CVFG.
Yeah. I mean, whatever, something simple. And then you can initiate the text, but once you've accepted it, it's pretty much a fair, free way, two-way street.
Yeah.
You can text, I can text you, vice versa.
At least on our end, we get to see who sent the message. So, like,
Correct.
if you send them a message and I send them a message, it's labeled who sent it.
Yeah.
On their end, though, they don't see that, right?
That's
They
right. Yep. Which usually between me, Sandy, and Jenny, whenever we are reaching out to clients, excuse me, we will always say, hi, so-and-so, this is Hannah, or hi, so-and-so, this is Jenny, or whatever.
I usually sign it Brett at the end.
Yeah. Just so the client knows I'm not just talking, or I don't know who I'm talking to, right? And I'm giving all this information.
Correct.
So, plus it's more efficient. It's quicker than an email, because sometimes not everybody has access to their email or looks at their email all the time. So that texting is quick and it's instant.
Yeah, so just a little background for clients on our side, everyone in the office can see those text messages. Mm-hmm. So it gives us, as a pod, for Brent, Sandy, and myself specifically for our pod, any of the three of us have the ability to respond to that text message.
Yep.
So when you talk about efficiency, it's now you're not waiting on Brent to look at that and respond. Sandy may already be in there, right? She has it up all day long. She can be like, oh, here, let me help you reschedule this meeting.
Yep. And it's everything's time stamped. And I think it's also good. So we have on there like set up for distributions. So if Brittany, our marketing expert, wants to send out a mass message to everyone, that's something that's really convenient, is she can get all those clients who are in my rep chat, send out that mass text, whether it be our phones are down that day. She sends out that text, hey, our phones are down. So that's another reason why my rep chat is so good, is because that is another form of communication instead of calling the office or for emails are down or whatever. We just have all these backups that are secure and compliant. So
Sure. So it's super important, as like you just said, another means of communication, another way, you can just send a quick text to my rep chat saying, hey, I've been trying to call, no one's answering. And then, somebody could respond and say, yeah, we're having a phone issue or whatever that is.
Yep.
We're out of the office today, holidays.
Yeah.
We only take the bank holidays, but not everybody gets the bank holidays. So someday you may be working and ready to do some work, but we're like, well, we're closed because it's a bank holiday.
Yeah.
So my rep chat is a very important tool for us now. That, we have hundreds of clients that use it. So it's widely accepted throughout the client base.
It can be, I know, like, there's some things where you can only have one cell phone number attached to it. But if you are a client and you have a profile, we'll call it, you can be on my rep chat. Even if we have clients, we're husband and wife, but the husband is the one that has the account and the spouse doesn't, she can also still be on my rep chat. We just put her phone number in, send her the text, and she's on there.
Yep.
We do have people that will prefer, we send out the review reminders. We send a 1 month and a 1 week reminder out, and those usually go out to the people who I think are the most communicative in the household. We do have people that like to send it to both, and then some people prefer to just not get them at all. It is just something nice to have. It's kind of like a modern day appointment card. It's always going to be on your phone. It's always going to be in those messages. You can always go back and look at it. So yeah, I mean, anyone can get set up on it. It's super easy. And I mean, I just always tell people, if you ever have any issues, you can always call us.
Yeah.
But
so my rep chat, I mean, it's something that's pretty new to us.
Yeah.
But it's something that's a great tool to use, you know. You get in there and I'll get in there and look and you'll be like, oh my gosh, there's been 100 text messages today.
And sometimes it's kind of fun because you can use emojis in there as well. And we have clients, you know, that will send a little emoji at the end of their message and stuff like that. So that's kind of fun. We play around with it sometimes.
Well, right, a lot of people might be afraid that texting you're not really building that relationship, but there are still ways that in that messaging you can still you know, build relationships. So my rep chat is a great tool to have if you're not signed up for it at your next review meeting, or you know, you can call in, talk to your advisor or whoever and just say, hey, I want to get set up on my rep chat. That sounds like something that would make my life a little easier.
And it's free. It
is free.
It's free to use.
It's a great point.
Yep.
So my rep chat, that's something, you know, a lot. I wonder what our adoption rate is on my rep chat.
I don't know, but I feel like just within the last year, I've gotten a lot of people on my rep chat that probably would have never thought about doing it. You know, there are people that don't prefer texting. That's totally fine. I'm honestly not a huge texter myself. But when I do have like appointments for my personal appointments, there are other places that I get text reminders for, and it's so convenient and it's so helpful. And you don't always have to respond. Now, if we send a text in my rep chat to you asking a question, we would, prefer you to respond. But to those reminders, those are really just to confirm your review. I mean, you can respond back with a thumbs up. You don't have to give me some big, message or whatever.
And it's a super easy way to reschedule meetings. You get that reminder and you're like,
reschedule.
Oh, I forgot. I already have a different appointment that day.
Yep.
Just respond right in there and say, hey, look, I can't do that day. Can you shoot me a couple of new dates?
Yep. And I think, too, that is where the confusion or the miscommunication lies, is that I don't think we've ever went into detail and talked about my rep chat. But people sometimes will think that they can't respond because it looks like an automated message. It is, but I am the one that created the automated message, so you can respond.
Yeah.
So I think that people think just because it's coming from it does look like...
Yeah, because a lot of times you get those things, you can't respond back to them.
No, correct. Like my hair appointment, for instance, I get those reminders, and it's not a texting service for me to respond to. It's just I think she does it through her Square or something like that,
So yes, it's a great way to respond and say, hey, I can't make that meeting, can we reschedule that?
Yep.
Super convenient way to do that, and a totally acceptable way to do that too. So
very secure, very compliant.
So again, my rep chat, great tool. Please feel free to use it.
Yeah.
We'd appreciate it.
Yep.
So the big one, we're going to talk about is Account View.
Yeah.
So Account View is an app or a website that allows you to go in and see your account balances, your investments, your different accounts. Some of your personal information's available on there.
Yep.
But you can have it as an app on your phone that allows you to go in and do that on your desktop, your laptop, whichever way you get on the internet. You can log in there and see your accounts. Super convenient. A lot of people like to do that. Some people wait till they get their statements.
Yeah.
Monthly or quarterly, and then say, oh, okay, but other people like to look at their account balances a little more frequently. So they log in and check it, and there's an app you can do that on your phone. There's good and bad about that, right?
I mean, it's technology. There's always good and bad.
From a perspective of if you're watching the market movement day to day, that sometimes cannot be healthy. Because last Friday the market had just this crazy up day. Well, yesterday, the market was not good.
Yeah.
And it's like, people emotionally let those ups and downs really get to them.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those people, don't look at it every day, right? For a lot of clients have a long time horizon, and watching those day-to-day movements just stresses them out.
Yeah.
But you should have access to be able to look at your account values anytime you'd like to.
It's treated exactly like a mobile bank app.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah. I think you can do a little bit more on there on account view than you would be like your bank app, but
so we're gonna include an LPL video in this video that you can watch that walks you through signing up on your side, as far as how to go to account view, how to get logged in, how to create an account, how to get your accounts so you can see them. That will answer most questions about that. But what we're also going to do is talk through that process and make sure that, we're trying to answer as many questions preemptively as we can. But again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Always.
Right? I mean, that's what we're here to help with. This is, for us.
And it changes, like account view, they're always making updates. They're always changing stuff. So, I mean, even I'm learning it just as much as clients are, right?
Yeah, there have been days
I'm trying to figure it out. But I'm trying to be a step ahead of them so that when they call with that question, I know or somewhat know.
But there have been days where clients have called and said, account view looks different.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, does it?
We'll go in there and look, and you're like, oh, yeah, account view looks different.
Sure does.
And then, we'll do some research, find out there was an update over the weekend or something, and now all of a sudden you're like, okay, this looks different. And, we've had people in the past say, well, I don't like the new version.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, let us find out.
Yeah, let me research it.
What's going on here.
Yeah.
So, don't be surprised if you ever log in there and it looks different than it has before. Please feel free to reach out and ask if there was an update. Make sure you're on the right website and all of that stuff. But just getting it set up. Our main focus today is going to be on how to get you registered and get your accounts linked, and then you can see your accounts. There will be a link to a video that's approved by LPL that will show you. Now it starts on our side.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be stuff you're going to see on there. They're going to be talking about, you're like, as a client, I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
Well, that's on our side. That's how we enroll you in Account View 2.0.
Yep.
And that's how we send you the link for it. And then you pick up once you've been emailed the link, then you go in and register and create your account.
Yep.
It's very simple.
It is.
I mean, it's just a couple of steps, but it's something you've got to follow those steps in order to make sure it gets set up correctly. Mm-hmm. So walk us through this, Hannah. How's this work? So if somebody wants to get enrolled in Account View.
Okay. Brett Rice is the new client.
Oh, okay.
And Brett wants to be set up on Account View. So the process is, once your account has been set up, we normally like to wait like a day just so
if this is a new account opening.
New account opening, new client, you're brand new to coreVISION. I will open your account and get all your paperwork submitted. I like to wait a day just so that all of that stuff can be in good order. And there's no discrepancies or issues by anything like that. But then during that account opening process, it's actually the step right before I send you your DocuSign. I will email you an account view link, and it will go to whatever email address that you give me or put on file. And that link expires, I think it's 72 hours. And if it does expire, it's totally normal. If you say, hey, Hannah, can you send me that link? 3 or 4 days go by, you get distracted, life happens, you forget, it expires, call me, I'll send you a new one. That's the beauty of it. However, if I send you the link and you get in there to create your username and password, your username is always going to be that email address that you have on file. If you have a Gmail account and you get rid of it and you get a Yahoo email address and you need to make an email update, call me, we'll update your email. However, you will then have to create a whole new account view but we have not figured out, nor has really LPL told us another solution to that. And that goes for password resets as well. There is a spot on there when you are setting up this account.
And most of that is about security.
Correct.
It's while it might seem like, oh, this is silly.
Yeah.
Or the thing, it's about security.
Yes. And I think the password policy is like, there is several characters, special characters. I mean, it's really like, it's a lengthy password, but it's because it wants it to be secure.
Yeah, the more complicated, the better.
Yeah.
Right, as we're trying to prevent fraud and hacking and all of those things from stealing a password you may use a lot. Mm-hmm. You don't want to do that on this account.
Correct. And I think that is part of a lot of the hacking is I know myself, I like to use the same password for like a lot of stuff. And so when it comes to stuff like this, always try to use a different password that you don't use for your Netflix account, right? You're less likely to really care if that gets hacked versus if this gets hacked. So always try to do something a little bit more lengthier and always write it down. I know that it's 2025 and we try to remember all of the things in our heads, but always write your password down because it could be as simple as you added a period in your password and you
or any special symbol.
Yeah. And it's just that one little special character that is throwing you fits.
And, I would recommend that you use a password keeper or thing that, I wasn't very receptive to using a password protection thing, but I'm telling you what, it's a heck of a lot easier to remember your passwords.
It's been a lifesaver.
When they're saved in a software program as opposed to being like, where did I write that down?
Yeah. Well, you start adding up all your logins, right? Between your personal stuff, your work stuff, your
kids
finance stuff, your kids stuff. You're up to 100 passwords and you're like, now is it this one for
and
this one?
And you don't want them to be the same.
Correct.
Because if one gets hacked, then all your passwords are compromised.
It's just something to always keep in mind, especially when it is dealing with technology. It's just always just something to be aware of.
Yep, very much.
So with that being said, your username is always going to be your email, and then the password's always going to be whatever it is that you create. If you do forget your password, you're entering the right email, and the password is not being accepted. There is a spot on there, and without looking at it, there is a spot on there that says forgot password, and then I believe it just prompts you to reset your password. Now, the thing that I think causes an issue sometimes is when let's just say you're in the app and your password's not being accepted and you go to reset your password, it prompts you, I think it might take you to 2 other screens to reset it. Take that new password and your email address, take it to the desktop version and apply it there. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but when you reset your password and you go to put in that new information in the app, it does not want it. It doesn't want it. I don't know why that is. I've not figured it out. I think it's a connection issue of some sort. And so what I advise people to do is if you do create a new password, take it, input it into a browser, a desktop browser, and it, knock on wood, has worked for me every time. Now, again, it's technology, so
right.
Every day is different. But once you create that login, it'll then send an authentication code. And I know that that's everyone's favorite cup of tea is authentication codes. You get a code for a code to get a code.
Yeah.
And so whatever mobile number is on file on your profile, or not so much your profile, but on your accounts, that is the number that will get the authentication code. So if
Correct.
you and I have a joint account and the account view login information is your email address, you created the password, but it's my cell phone number.
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget, it's my cell phone number, not yours, and then you're waiting on that code. In the meantime, you've tried to reset your stuff, and it's the phone number's wrong, and that happens. So just always be aware or keep in mind of what your information is. And sometimes we'll have a landline. We'll get swooped into that. And so we just always make sure that, I will always verify, is this the correct cell phone number? Is this the correct email address? And then usually we're good to go from there.
Yeah. And if you start experiencing these problems, please feel free to reach out.
Always.
And, ask for some help to make sure, hey, look, I'm doing these things. I'm not receiving this code. We will have some insight as to where that code is going.
Yeah.
So Hannah was saying that we do not have visibility to your password. So you can't call and ask us what your password is.
Nope.
We cannot see that.
Nope.
What you'll need to do is go through the process of resetting your password. So it's totally understandable you want to call and get help, but just so people know, we don't see your password. I mean, there's a ton of reasons why, but we don't want access to your password. We don't need it for any reason.
Nope.
So, but just be aware, if you call looking for your password, we're going to suggest that you do a password reset.
Mm-hmm. And then, like we've reiterated a million times, technology is technology. So there are times where you reset your password and you take that new information and you go input it and it's not accepting it. Yeah. And that could be a number of things. That could be there's some type of issue on the back end, which usually when that is the case, LPL will notify us if they're having or experiencing issues with account view. So, and sometimes we aren't notified and they're just having issues that maybe just arose.
It's a known issue.
It's always a known issue. But yeah, so just have patience and understanding. And I do tell people too, if you're out and about and you live locally and you just want to stop by and I can help you get set up on there. I can show you, whatever you need me to show you. It's really simple and really easy. But sometimes it can be difficult explaining that over the phone.
Correct.
So I can't always see what you're looking at. And so I tell people, I try to walk you through it as best I can without seeing what's on your screen. I'm not a mind reader by any means, but I just always tell people that if you are out and about or you're not out and about and you want to come in, feel free to come in. I will walk you through account view, my rep chat. I'll get you set up on anything and everything you need to.
That's a great point. It can be frustrating. We've all had an experience where somebody's trying to help us with something over the phone and you're like, I don't see that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't see. I mean, I just had it with the Everstream guy yesterday on the phones. I was like, bro, I don't see that. I don't see that anywhere. Yeah. He's like, no, it's right there. I'm like,
yeah.
I can see this phone and it is not on there. But yes, and if it does get to that point, then it's like, hey, just come in person. Mm-hmm. We'll help you get through it. Yeah. Like you said, my rep chat, account view. I mean, if there's a secure email problem or a Adobe sign problem, let's get set down at a table and let's help you work through that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a technology or IT expert by any means. However, in all the things that I have involved myself in my 30 wonderful years of life, I have encountered a lot of different types of platforms and technology, whether it's been good or bad. And so it's really just playing around with it. There's never really a right solution. It's technology. And so it's always evolving and it's always changing and it's never going to be the same as it was yesterday. So it's just having patience and playing around with it and really educating yourself on it. Because I think once you get familiar with one platform, whether it be account view or any type of technology platform, once you become familiar with that, it kind of opens the door to other items, right? You can get set up on Adobe Sign, then secure emails can actually be easier than you think, or vice versa. You know how to open a secure email, then your Adobe Signs or your e-signatures can also become easier.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think that learning technology, I know that it's, like I said, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but that's just the world that we live in anymore. So unfortunately, it's going to have to become your cup of tea.
Well, right. It's removed some of the hurdles of having to do these in-person things.
Right.
And, because sometimes we're not in the same place as our clients.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have clients all over the country, and getting a physical signature sometimes can be very difficult. And people are busy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like these are convenience factors.
Yes.
That sometimes can be a little difficult to work through the first couple of times you do it.
Yeah. Might require an extra step or two, but once you get familiar with it or you do it once or twice, it's a cakewalk at that point. I mean, I have clients, that first time did it and struggled with it, and they were like, I don't like this and that. Here we are, a year down the line, and now they're like, is this going to be Adobe Sign? They're asking for it. And I'm like, yes, it will be. And it is. It's just a convenience thing, honestly. But just know that any technology item that we use here is always compliant and always secure. And it will always be me that is sending it to you. And I will always notify you when I do send you something. So it's not just floating around out there.